I know I'm a bit late to this, but Five Nights at Freddy's is now 6 years old. I don't know how late I am because I can't find an accurate release date of this game. Google says July 23rd, Wikipedia says August 8th, Steam says August 18th, I can't tell. This game was released in 2014 and became the thing. Everyone was playing it. This series went big and had large amounts of merchandise, books, a movie maybe, and currently holds the world record for most sequels in a franchise released in a year, which is kinda ridiculous. I didn't play it when it first came out. I first played the games during the build-up to FNAF 4. I mainly played the games on an iPad, but a few months ago I decided to play them on PC on stream. I was planning on doing this video a while ago, but I got sidetracked with other things. I broke my monitor while getting footage for a video on Super Mario Kart, and a big storm came where I lived and knocked out power for like a week, so I haven't been able to do much. Also, I've just been pretty lazy, but now I'm finally doing it. Let's talk a little bit about Five Nights at Freddy's. The idea for Five Nights at Freddy's stemmed from the reception of his previous games. At this point, Scott had made a few games like Desolate Hope and Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. The reception of Chipper and Sons in particular was negative. One of the complaints of the game was that the characters looked like scary, spooky animatronics. It was this complaint that gave Scott the idea to make a horror game themed around spooky, scary animatronics. He used ClickTeam Fusion to develop the game and Autodesk 3D Max to model the animatronics. After 6 months of development, the game released to the world and got fairly positive reviews. Many loved how the simplicity of the game felt like a less is more kinda thing, and how the approach of the animatronics made you feel dread and suspense. However, a lot of people felt like the gameplay got repetitive. Well, now that I talked about all that, let's actually talk about this game. Five Nights at Freddy's is a point-and-click survival horror game. The best way to describe this game is Night Trap meets Chuck E. Cheese. The game takes place in a pizza restaurant, and there are robots that spend about 3 hours moving from one side to the next. The robots want to get to you because, to them, you look like an endoskeleton without a costume. Because an endoskeleton without a costume is against the rules, they will try to stuff you into a costume. So, hold up. So an endoskeleton is an animatronic skeleton, and the costume is like an animatronic skin, right? Well, if I'm in a school and I see a human skeleton in the hallway, I don't think, wait, that's against the rules, let me go find some skin for you. I think, what the frick happened here? Did someone die and their skeleton is all that's left or something? How the hell did this happen? There are 4 main animatronics you have to deal with. Freddy is the bear and he doesn't do much. He only really is a threat on later nights, and he is pretty hard to spot on the cameras. He comes in from the right side of the building. He is also invisible when he's at the door. However, keeping an eye on him will stop him from moving. Bonnie is the bunny and is pretty aggressive. Bonnie likes to go down the left hall and basically teleports around the left side. Chica is the chicken and is aggressive as well, but not as aggressive as Bonnie. Chica goes down the right, but goes from room to room, unlike Bonnie who just teleports from the bottom to the top whenever they feel like it. Foxy is the last one you're likely to encounter, and he is a big old dick to deal with. He stays in Pirate's Cove, and every now and then he gets closer to escaping. If he escapes, he will run down the left hall, and you better be fast at closing that door or you're dead! Like Freddy, the cameras prevent him from moving, so keep an eye on him as well. The gameplay is pretty simple. Monitor the cameras and try to keep an eye on the robots, and if they get to your office, close the door in their face. It's pretty simple, however, if you mess up, the robots scream and you become a teddy bear. Something else you need to keep an eye on is your power meter. The building runs on 2 AA batteries and the Wii U gamepad's battery life to keep the building having power during the night. Using your lights, doors, or cameras will all drain your power, and you have to preserve your power or else get the power cut out. If the power goes out in the middle of the night, Freddy will appear at your door, sing a song, then turn you into a teddy bear if 6 AM doesn't hit. Oh yeah, forgot to mention you have to last from 12 AM to 6 AM. The gameplay is very simple, but I kinda like it. It's simple, and the multitasking with the cameras and the power and the doors will build stress through the game to make it more anxious for the player. Now that I've covered the basics, let's go through each night and some interesting things about them. There isn't that much different between the nights, but at least there's Phone Guy. Phone Guy is basically the tutorial character for this game. He tells you how to not become a bear. Not really much is known about the Phone Guy, and I almost forgot he existed due to how unimportant he has become to the story of these games. But anyway, let's talk about him. Phone Guy is the former security guard and decided to record some messages for the next person to take his job. That's nice of him. If it weren't for him, I would have never known what the door button does. Who would have guessed? He talks about how
Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced, blah blah blah.
Now, after hearing that, any sane person would leave after the first day, but your character decides to stay because he is an idiot. He also talks about the Bite of 87 thing and how a customer lost their frontal lobe. This would give any business a bad reputation, but somehow Freddy's is still around. He talks about info I talked about earlier, and that's really all for Night 1. Night 2 is next, and the animatronics are more active than before, and the phone guy makes note of that, saying the robots will get more active as the week goes on. So that's great, fun, amazing, thanks. Phone guy also tells you about Foxy and how he becomes less active if the cameras are used, and that Freddy will become more active in the dark. On Night 3, he talks about how most people leave by now. Leave as in get another job like anyone with a brain would. But not you, cause you dumb. Oh yeah, he's not implying they die, because you're safe, you can't die, don't worry. He also mentions that if you happen to get caught, try playing dead. Might trick them into thinking you're a costume. Then he tells you to screw that idea and just not die. Night 4 comes around, and what's new, you might wonder? Well, to build tension or plot reasons, phone guy dies. He has animatronics knocking on his door, Freddy's music box, and a strange scream. We'll get to what animatronic this is for now, but let's go through the rest of the game. Night 5 comes around and you hear the phone again. Maybe the phone guy survived. Maybe they got a new phone guy. Let's see who it is. Okay, that's strange. After clearing the night, you get a paycheck. You only get paid $120, which some people found out was the minimum wage of 1993 for how many hours you worked. Going back to the main menu, you'll see that there's more to the game. You now have a 6th night to do because, of course, 5 Nights at Freddy's means more than 5 nights to be done. Night 6 is difficult, but by now you should have the strategy down. Follow the strategy, hope luck is on your side, and complete the night. After that, you get some overtime and become Employee of the Month apparently. You'll also see that now you have one final night, the Custom Night. The Custom Night is one of my favorite parts of the game because here you can control the AI of each of the animatronics, which I find really cool. This is where you attempt the infamous 20-20-20-20 mode, where all the animatronics are on max AI. I did this once a few months back on stream. It took an hour and I got really lucky with how little time it took me. After clearing the Custom Night, it doesn't matter what AI everyone is on. You get fired for tampering with the animatronics and odor. Okay, I get tampering with the animatronics, but smelling bad doesn't seem like something to get fired over to me. I don't know though, I've never had a job. Also, I love how you go from Employee of the Month at the end of Night 6 to being fired at the end of the Custom Night. Now that I've covered the entire game, let's go on to some secrets this game has. Remember when I said I'd talk about the animatronic who screamed at the end of Night 4's phone call? Well, that animatronic is Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is a secret animatronic who can randomly appear, but it happens very rarely. On the left hall corner, there is a very low chance the poster here turns into a Golden Freddy. When this happens, he will appear in your office, killing you if you don't pull up the camera for 5 seconds. If he kills you, the game crashes. Fun! You can also spawn him by typing 1987 on the Custom Night menu. There are also these newspaper articles that can sometimes appear. They have to do with how 5 kids went missing at Freddy's, but they were never found and the killer had been arrested but got let out as the bodies were missing. Also, the robots started having blood and mucus come from them. There's also the "it's me" hallucinations. Sometimes you say the text "it's me" in random places. I don't really know what this means, but it does creep me out a bit. So after all of that, what do I think of this game? I like it. The jump scares are kind of annoying and the gameplay is repetitive, but the atmosphere, the tension, the feeling of helplessness the game gives you, and the kind of creepy nature of animatronics really do make it a pretty neat horror game. The jump scares get annoying and frustrating after a while, but they still give you that shock when they happen, and even then, they are a punishment for failure. Other games that have jump scares just use them to spook the player whenever they feel like it, but this game uses it for punishment for being dumb and messing up as well. So now, what's next? Well, after this game, we have 9 more games to cover. Oh boy.